Did you order one?
I have already. I got to do my market research, but I am absolutely
Let's
installing
do your market research right now.
the heated seat.
Okay, so are you getting one of these things?
Absolutely not. That is
Space toilets.
$17,000.
Oh my God, I had no idea. All right,
I
let me just like click on this thing
I went
oh,
to.
there are options. Holy
There you
shit.
go. What is the rough in option? I don't want anything rough in. That's very clear.
I'll tell you one thing that's a problem with I was in San Francisco once and I was at somebody's house and they had one of these fancy toilets.
Hmm.
And I think they had like one of these things, right? Or it just like looked similar to this. And for the life of me, I could not figure out how to flush the toilet. I like
Yep.
to blow shit up.
Looks like a tank. It's pretty dope.
Yeah. What do we want to do today?
What do we want to do today?
Oh God, this terrain depresses me.
let's fix that first.
All right. Well, how do you want to fix it? Should we make real terrain? The whole terrain representation question.
It's a pretty big question.
Yeah, we could maybe not stress about it and just like use whatever out of the box terrain thing that Unity has, and then just roll with it until we feel like the game needs to change.
Does this not count as the out of box terrain, or?
These are two plane meshes.
Oh,
I don't know if they necessarily constitute.
right. You mean the weird deforming thing we were doing last time?
Yeah, I don't even remember where that was, to be honest. Was it a package that you downloaded?
No, I think I added a new primitive, but it was just terrain.
3D object
Terrain.
terrain. Is that what is that?
That's it.
That's it. Well, oh my God. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, I kind of like that. I kind of like the notion that we construct it out of
Out of
just
primitives.
primitives. Yeah, I don't hate what we've done, though. Maybe we don't have enough. What's the word? Prefabs for ourselves. Oh, you had one thing
I'm
in the
just
front.
curious what this,
Yeah,
first of
totally.
all, where is, so it's centered at, so, wow, okay.
Right.
That's why I didn't find the gizmo. Um, so you used the command key to snap,
It snapped for me.
holding down command.
Yeah. Nothing?
Yeah, it's funny. I looked for this before. I couldn't get it to work. Is
Huh.
there something?
Right, that's a is an option in Blender to snap or not. Is it the oh, I see a magnet in the top bar. Okay.
Am I just zoomed too far out to
I
feel
mean,
the snapping?
these are awfully big grid tiles, yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, that does feel like it's snapping actually.
Nice.
Um, but how do I know?
Hmm. Can we just adjust the transform to negative oh whatever it is?
I don't know how big it is.
Yeah. Well, do it eyeball it halfway and then I bet we'll know what the actual number is. Yeah, it's
500 probably.
negative 500, negative 500. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay. So that being the case, if
Hmm.
I were to, our cute little scene down here, if I were to delete terrain lower,
Hmm. Yeah,
and if we
no,
played the game, it should be fine, right?
should play exactly the same. Yep.
Hooray. It works. All right, cool. I just don't want to fall off the edge of the world.
That's fair. Well, I think you can drop the green material into this too. To how did we do that earlier? Totally colored the terrain.
We did. I don't want to fill a height map. I just want.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, material default terrain standard. Oh, that was it.
I know.
Okay.
I'm. So materials seem like they have fixed properties. You can't adjust them when you attach them to objects.
I think that's right. Yeah.
So I can just pick the terrain shader here, and oh god, it's very green.
It's very green.
It's intensely forest green. But I do want to. I would love to have a little bit of variety here.
Mm-hmm. Oh right. Yeah, we don't have like
Textures.
yeah, or the notion of river, mountain, tree, whatever. Yeah, trees are different, but
Exactly. Yeah. There's like shit here that I kind of don't care about. I can paint trees and I can paint terrain. I can paint details.
Oh. I like that it's just click anywhere to paint some detail. So detailed.
So if I just, oh god, if I just wanted to paint, this is a brush, and it doesn't have any objects defined for it, right? So it's not going to do anything if I paint.
Oh,
right now, right?
I see. Yeah, it's like the yeah.
So if I do paint some trees,
No trees defined. We dropped in the low poly model last time. Yeah.
add tree. So that means this makes sense. I need to actually have a tree.
Yep.
What exactly is a tree?
Yep.
Is the question.
Well, and are these? I'm confused by the terrain because do they turn into real objects or not? Like, can you shoot a tree? Does it get a script?
I don't think so, and I kind of don't want them to, right?
Well, our current trees are shootable. We do blow them up with bullets. Oh yeah, welcome to the asset store. It's a link to a web page from Unity. Wait, we should extrude some trees. Make your own tree.
Oh, you're saying I should just model my own tree? Is that what you're saying?
Well, do you have a low poly tree handy? Because I got one handy.
Yeah, I made one.
Yeah, let's just use that. I bet it's in tank.
Oh no, this is
it's
my
older,
old
yeah.
Blender, yeah. Low poly one dot blend.
I bet that's it. That's the one. That's the one where you do two of them, yeah.
Yep. Oh yes.
Trees and
cars. I have a tree. It's a little bit big.
Yeah.
But that's okay. S to scale.
Oh god, we're talking like that guy.
We're talking like that guy. So the tank is like 1 unit, right? So how much bigger does the tree need to be relative to tank? Like this?
That's probably good, yeah.
Okay. Then I should probably just save this as a separate Blender file, right?
So you can
under the repo.
So you can delete the car, yeah. Have you exported UV coloring to Blender yet, or to Unity?
I have not.
Okay.
But we can do it. I don't have a palette file though. I guess we can make one, right?
Well, this you got the car in here. You might actually have one. Oh. Huh.
That's weird. Well, the car clearly has color, right? So I must have a palette somewhere. I would have assumed that it would just show up here.
Yeah, I gotta say the interface for this thing is like the worst. What the shit?
Yeah, low poly texture 1.png. Isn't that a bit of a puzzle? Okay, there it is.
Sick.
So if I want to paint the tree, let's also maybe add these. And how do I collapse all of these UVs again? Do you remember?
Yeah. You select all, you scale them down and drag them onto green.
Scale to 0, right?
And
then I go here.
Maybe
right?
scale 0.01. I think it needs some. Huh. Yeah, I thought that would have done it.
Maybe it's just because the way I'm rendering right now.
Yeah,
right?
is it the mode? You need to hit the third or the fourth one? No, because the car was rendering correctly here. I don't buy it.
Yeah. Real quick. I am going to scale these down to 0.01. Whoa, what the heck? Oh, I need to actually, yeah.
Oh, select. Yeah.
Scale 0.01. And let's make it a brown tree. Okay, so something weird about this, right?
Yeah, I'm disappointed. Thought cars colors. If you click on like the windshield face, is it there?
Yep.
Huh.
Well,
that's strange.
I think it's a different texture palette.
It's a different palette, yeah.
It's maybe low poly 1 text. Yeah, that's what was going on. Still.
You've got the taillight selected. Okay, yeah, sure.
Is it the case that this simply just doesn't have a texture attached to it? I would have thought this would have done it, right? But there's like one setting we're missing here.
Oh, I wonder. Yep.
I can't recall that particular tutorial I did such a long time ago.
Nope, you're right. All right, well, UV maps? It's the thing. You have to drop the thing in there and connect it. There's like a menu that pops up on the bottom. Oh, shit.
I remember now. Yeah, the whole material thing.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Shading.
There you go.
I mean, that's happening right now, right?
It's happening for low poly text 1, yeah. Okay, so
low poly palette 1 is what we should be doing.
Sure.
But still not doing it on this thing, right?
Yeah, and how does it connect to the model? Is this on the car in some way?
Yeah, like is this material even being used by the car? Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Well, how do we set a material on an object?
That green one looked.
This one, the mesh.
Only because I see because UV maps is there.
Yeah. All right. Blender, add material to mesh. Assigning material. Boy, this is old.
Great. Oh, materia slots. I remember this from Final Fantasy VII.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
I don't think I actually quite understood the whole materia system in Final Fantasy VII. Oh wait, that's the one that gives you different powers if you connect it to your weapon, right?
Yeah. That was the weapon slots. I forget what 8 was. 8 had like a weird summon thing.
It had like a weird thing, yeah.
The junction system.
And 6 had the weird whatchamacallit, like
Oh,
the espers, you like attach them to the
espers.
person and they like, yeah, it
I
was really weird.
I really liked 6 though.
Yeah, 6 is good.
Hmm.
Enter edit mode on the mesh. Yes, indeed.
Hmm.
I have entered edit mode. Oh, and it doesn't have the whole thing here, right? That's what's going on here.
Cool.
And then add.
Should you select all? Because we're
Yeah.
only, yeah. Though I guess it is happening.
Add texture.
Oh, image texture. Image texture. Yep.
Open. Oh, I should probably bring this file
Into the thing, sure.
So where did the texture come from?
Yeah, where'd you get this low poly palette? It's nice.
I think I got it from Infenzia in a different thing.
Nice. Cool.
And it would be good to have Red Devil in my little side thing. For now, we're probably gonna have to duplicate this in Unity as well, I'm guessing, because I don't think FBX contains textures, but we'll see.
The dog sort of did.
The dog did. Oh,
yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, we brought it in. We brought it in with rigging and textures. So
nice.
I'm hoping.
Okay. Open image, linear, flat, repeat.
And then color to
Put that in there.
color. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Look
shit.
at that.
You already did it. That's awesome. That looks great. Thanks for hearing me.
No, this is fantastic. Okay, great. Okay, so now I can can the car.
Yep. Yeah, this is your other file, right? Yeah. Great.
Yeah. And then do I have any extra crap in here that I need to worry about? Or is this good? I'll just try exporting.
I think it's good.
And I will add a favorite here too.
I do. The one thing that kind of mows me out about Blender is the fact that it doesn't have my Finder save panel sidebar shit.
I mean, it has Circe and Manchester here, so maybe it just hasn't refreshed because I bet if I restart Blender right now, right?
It'll just be there.
It'll be there.
All right, I'll buy that.
Yeah. I really like the Blender interface, to be totally honest. It feels good to click around in.
Oh, I do too. Yeah. There's always the couple rough edges where it breaks with the system.
Tree 1, boom.
I think you've asserted this, but Blender is the only good open source software UI that I've ever experienced.
I don't remember saying that, but I agree with that assessment.
Yeah, this could have been the GIMP, and it's not.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, the bar is quite low, and this actually vaults over it quite, pretty well. Edit trees, add tree. It needs to be a prefab, right?
Did you drop the FBX in there already?
The FBX is in there. So I've got this. Do I need to make a prefab out of this?
Guess so.
So the typical thing that I've seen is just people just drag it in the scene, right?
Yeah, and then you drag it back. Looks like our materials didn't come through. It's too bad. If you open up the tree object there, or the
materials, I mean, am I missing it? I mean, the thing is, I didn't see any other export options, but I didn't pay attention super closely. There's nothing.
There's nothing. I guess there's normal FBX, but that might not be this. Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Okay. Well, let's see. What else is in this asset?
That's what I was curious about. Yeah, if you can open up that sub, it should be the tree and 3 leaves. Whoa. I was gonna say open it.
This.
You double clicked. You gotta hit the just the disclosure triangle on the left of the tree. Nope.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's got a material in
It's
it.
got a material. Oh, mm-hmm.
Do these all have materials? Yeah, they all do. And if I was to choose the other export option, FBX, this doesn't have any material controls here either, right?
No, I don't think so. Weird.
With texture.
Oh, Unity, create a material, drag your texture file onto the albedo of the material.
Oh, okay. We'll just try that.
Yeah. I guess we can't. I don't think we can modify this material since it comes from the FBX, but the
Yeah,
prefab could.
that's just the straight up asset right there. But if we create a prefab, which is tree one,
Mhm.
and
Original prefab.
yeah,
Yeah.
it should have no connection to the original thing, right?
Yeah.
Mesh render
Uh-huh.
material 01. So it's coming. The material is coming from the asset, right?
Yep. But I think we just have to hand it our own version of that texture anyway, which is funny. Maybe it's because the texture is an external file, like we textured the object.
Okay. So I can adjust the material here, right? Ish. Although it's what's funny is the material is kind of the one coming from the asset as well, right? So do I need to break
Yeah.
the material out?
We need to make a new material, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Um, so how do I take this material and
I don't think with this material we reuse at all. I think we just make a new one. It looks, yeah.
okay. Tree one, opaque rendering. Um, and then the shader. I would imagine the standard shader could just do everything we need, right? We just need to be able to point it at a UV at an albedo map.
Yeah, the thing
Select
might.
texture. So I do need to have the texture available then.
Yeah, I think we have to have the texture in here.
All right. What do I create? Folder. Textures. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of tedious that I have to replicate this everywhere, but we'll
I
figure.
I'm happier to have the Blender stuff separate because, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is the whole art of making games, right? It's just dealing with assets.
Mm-hmm.
Oop, option click.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Cool.
Okay, so we go back to the tree one material.
Mm-hmm. So I'm confused that this thing seemed to think that you could drag the texture onto the albedo, which is. Oh.
That did it, and it
Oh.
colored my tree, just like that.
Okay. The weird UI was right.
Okay, so now we'll make a prefab out of this thing, right? Does this? We don't have any collision on this, which is fine. We just want something that looks good,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Weirdly, it already has. I'm confused.
Yep. What's
Material
it?
material 01.
Oh, you know what? I should re-export. I want to apply this scaling to it,
Okay.
and it should probably be a smidge bigger. What do you think?
Go back to the game. Let me see. Yeah, smidge.
Okay. Was that smidgy enough?
Yeah, though I think you're below the origin now.
Oh, interesting. Okay, let's go to modeling mode. And if I scale up again, I need to set the origin to the object origin. I can't tell what it is.
Is it the very bottom? I'm.
I'm a little confused why it's, well, it's not. I mean, it's wherever the orange dot is. Which let's switch off. I mean that is the origin. If I scale, oh, I see. Well, I would imagine that it would just be scaling around the origin, right?
Yeah, which I think it is.
No, it's not scaling. I mean, the origin of the object is still like in the middle of it. It almost looks like the way that it's scaling. So, all right, let's just force it to be what we want it to be and see what happens.
Yep.
Okay, so I select the face, Shift S, cursor to selected, and then object mode, object, set origin to 3D cursor, nothing changed.
Yep.
And then while I am here, so let's scale. Okay, now that worked. That was really weird. So we scale, that's a smidge, maybe?
Hey, Dean's in the chat and says, that's a funny looking tree.
It is a funny looking
tree.
You
ain't wrong, buddy. But you know what? It's a funny looking tree that we made ourselves.
It's my tree, yes. All right, re-exporting the FBX. That should be done. Now we go back into Unity. Will that automatically update everything? I kind of hope it does. Oh wait, I didn't apply the scale. I didn't do what I said I was going to do.
Well, one more, yeah.
Yeah, all right. Shift A, right? No, not Shift A. What does it apply? Command A? Yes.
Oh, shit.
Apply scale.
Cool.
And the scales are all 1. Now I can export again. Export. Go back into Unity. Let us...
It's so tiny. It got tiny.
Oh, you know what it is?
Because that scale is, yeah.
It retained the scale, yeah.
Oh, 111.
Oh. Good call.
I like the flat tree.
All right, it's a little bit bigger now, but I think what I actually want to change is the prefab of the tree, right? Because this one doesn't matter. Dead to me.
Oh, shit.
And
there you go.
Now the transforms need to do 1, 1, and 1, right? Okay, so now I should be able to go in the terrain. I should be able to edit trees, add a tree, add my tree game object. Oh, God. Why do I have 2?
What the hell?
Which one do I want?
So one of these is the FBX, which is a game object. I think we could rename what's in the FBX folder.
That's the prefab. Okay, yeah.
So we want the prefab.
This is an annoying thing. It almost seems like we need to like come up with a namespacing scheme, right?
I was gonna say I think we shouldn't have things named the same.
So it's just gonna be like FBX tree1.fbx.
Yep.
Or tree1.fbx.fbx.
That's really annoying.
Yeah, I love it. Bend factor. I don't know what that means.
Let's find out. Crank it.
Let's see. Unity tree bend factor. I need to know whether or not, like, what is this out of? What are the units? Look at these beautiful trees.
Holy shit. That's a lot nicer. No, our tree is perfect.
Our tree.
If
my son is ugly, but he's my son.
It's the monster factory of trees. If it supports the bend factor, it'll display the bend factor.
It doesn't do anything. Mass place trees. Or I can just paint trees, right? Oh, Jesus.
Hell yeah.
All right, this is making me feel a little bit better right now. Oh. The elevated terrain is gonna be work in progress, I think.
Well, that's not the terrain.
Ah! What did I just do right there? I wish I knew what I was doing. Tree height. I can randomize the tree height. I guess that's also going to be the same thing where, like, unless it's parameterized, it's not going to know, right?
Maybe. What if you tune that, or is it they all look identical? Yeah.
Yeah, they look identical. It's randomized, right? Lock width to height, tree density. I think density is really my only jam here. Like
And it's only placing them, it's not overlapping them. It's interesting.
It doesn't look like density matters either.
The first thing you built was the first thing you painted was so dense. I'm surprised.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay. So you asked the question, are these actually like game objects? And it looks like the answer is no, right?
Yeah, I don't see them in our scene graph. But
And that may prove to be a problem for us because we do want shootable trees eventually, right?
here's the question I got.
Yeah.
That tree is prefab. Can you put a damageable script on it?
All right, let's try it.
Yeah. And if you were editing the prefab, it does survive the run mode, doesn't it? I think so.
Okay. Let's see here. Prefab. Let's actually open it up, and then I think this is all click and drag stuff, right?
I think you can just drag the damageable script.
Okay.
Cool.
There's that.
Well, now you can shoot it. Does it need to be on a layer? Did we do layers? I forget. No, bullets are on layers.
Bullets are on the bullet layer. Walls are on obstacles.
But the only thing we're checking is that bullets aren't hitting bullets.
Oh,
we didn't do anything else with layers.
We did anything with obstacles. So we also need a collider on this thing, right? And it'll be similar to a wall, I think. What's the thing we want to do here? It'll be actually similar to. We want like a kinematic trigger, I think, right? Or we just want a collider.
I think that's right. Yeah.
And we'll just make it a straight box collider,
okay.
Right?
Great. Yep.
Box collider.
And
where is my box? That is a trigger.
Interesting.
All right, so let's make it really big.
Sure. Are gizmos on, or is your box rendering on? Should be. Usually it's there. If you click on the bullet, you see it, right?
We see it on the bullet. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I don't see the collider here. Interesting.
Oh, I just didn't hit enter for. That was weird, wasn't it?
I would have sworn you were editing a box collider on something.
Yeah. Okay, and the collider maybe. What the hell?
Okay, so.
So now it's gone. Am I just clicking on the wrong thing?
I think you need to click on the thing in the left graph. So there's the scene graph of the prefab in the left column.
This one here?
Yeah, I think you want to click on that. Okay. Box layer, and then if you hit the back arrow out of that prefab tab, that'll save it.
Okay, well, what I really want to do is I want to make this box a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
Is it possible? So when I click in here, it just goes away. So when I click back here.
Yeah, I think that's the correct object.
Going to make it a little bit narrower on the x-axis.
Absolutely.
So let's do 0.9. 0.5.
I think that's right. Yeah.
0.4. That's better. And then on Y, we'll do 1.0.
I think the Y looked better before, yeah.
The origin. Oh, the Y doesn't really matter. And the Z, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4. Okay. And the centering is a little bit funky, is it not? So I actually think we should just center it, right? It should be like along the ground. Wait, no.
Not
the box. We can't. The physics colliders have like the origin has to be the center of the volume. This is a little bit unfortunate, right?
Wait, what do you mean? Because isn't this a purely visual thing? Like this is where bullets will hit the thing. We don't actually.
What I mean though is I can't make the Y 0. Does that
Oh,
make
yeah,
sense?
yeah, yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. It's not like a visual mesh. Okay, so this looks pretty good, right?
I think it looks great. Yeah.
Okay, so now
Yeah.
if we play the game,
hmm
we'll see whether or not these things are destructible.
I feel like I'm working with like some sort of like child dream logic where, what the fuck?
Now we ooh,
Well, it's hitting the trees.
it is hitting the trees. The trees also have collision triggers on them, and I can't drive through them now.
Oh.
So
Hmm.
we're halfway there.
hmm And also, what the hell happened when you started? What was that? Like everything blew up.
But they're not triggers. I don't know what was going on there. Let's go back into the tree. Is trigger. That's what we want, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Gosh, the whole physics collision matrix of like what can collide with what in Unity is so confusing. It's doing it again. I was hitting the walls. Did you see that?
It hit every wall at once.
Yeah.
Okay.
And these only have 1 health, so I don't know why they are getting hit,
Yep.
but the shooter, the whatever the bullet mover script is, whatever collision query it's doing is not registering. Well, what's funny is we're doing the damage. So let's just take a look at the script.
hmm
Right. It is the bullet.
Well, I guess since we're calling a game object dot destroy.
Deal damage if necessary. You know, it's kind of damageable,
Hmm?
right? Dare I try debugging again?
Oh lordy. Okay. I believe in you.
Okay. Unity debug VS Code. All right, got the debugger.
Holy shit. Okay. Uh, so I think there's apparently a trees instanced array.
Okay, what does that mean?
Um, well, uh, we want terrain.activeterrain.terrain data.tree instances to find the one that we should destroy. I think they're not game objects.
They're not game objects.
Yeah.
So we're colliding with something. Oh, so
Mhm.
it doesn't have a damageable. Is that what you're saying? Because we are destroying the bullet.
It might have a damageable. Go into damageable. I guess it destroys itself, so that's weird. That's weird. The whole thing is weird.
Okay, why don't I rather than what is it? Debug?
hmm
What's debug logging again? First of all, indent size. So that's what that should be, right? Okay, that's now sane. Whew. Okay, so what was the debug to console in Unity? Unity log to console. Debug.log. Okay. Okay. Compiler errors. What are you complaining about? Semicolon expected. God damn it. Should probably just start adding semicolons to all my JavaScript now, or else I'm just going to go insane. Too many characters in character literal. I'm into it. Debug does not capital L log. Character by character, we are going to be able to compile this. I don't think you had nearly the same number of problems that I am having right now.
I give you the hard problems.
Yeah. Okay, so I just hit 5 things. And I hit 5 more things.
Boy, I really don't understand that.
Yeah, and I was hitting every wall here. And can I clear this console? Is that clear? There we go. Yeah, there's no damageable on these things. So
Great,
I don't think
okay.
you can add script components. You can add colliders. Unity, add script to terrain tree.
Yikes.
I don't quite understand what this is. So this is the game start. It finds the terrain object, then
Tree
removes all the
instances.
trees, and then basically reinstantiates them as game objects.
That seems.
I mean,
That's
I
a lot.
get it. Actually, I mean, I get what he's going for.
Versus just placing the trees as game objects by hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And I don't object to this 100%. I don't know what the conventional way of doing this is because I don't know anything about Unity. But
I mean,
the kind of like painter tool is nice. The randomization is nice. It's a great tool to author the terrain.
exactly. Yeah, and we do want them to be game objects, so it works.
Yeah. All right. So why don't we give it a shot?
Let's do it. My cats are exploring the new house.
How do they like it?
They're a little scared of it so far, but they're.
How do you like the new house?
I like
That's
the new
big
house
question.
a lot. Big fan.
Yeah.
Big fan. A lot of space, and I don't have my stuff yet, so feels a little empty, but otherwise
It'll
good.
take a little time. Yeah. Start game.
Yeah, I mean, I want my sweet boom mic and good camera back. That'll be a start.
Terrain data. Find game object. We're just calling it terrain, right? And then we have tree prefab.
Tree fab.
Tempting. So this is a curious coding style. This person puts spaces here. Am I not getting auto format on save?
Doesn't look like it. There you go. That would be the problem.
That is funny because this used to work. Right? I've got all of these like bracing style things, right?
Weird. Oh well.
It's gonna drive me insane. Maybe what's happening actually is there's some issue in, like, you know how you can just like
output
C# .NET .NET test log.
Oh my god.
Extensions. Because I think I actually do have
prettier set or something.
I do have a format on save here. Tab size 4. Oh, I don't know what tab size we should use. Do you like 2?
I prefer 2.
Okay, I prefer 2 as well.
I think 4 is barbaric, to say the least.
Yeah. So this worked at one point. So I don't know what the deal is.
Okay.
All right. Well, it's not a big, not the worst thing in the world, but I just want to see. Maybe it's Omni Sharp. That's what it's called. Boy, this really wants me to. I'll do it later. I'll do it later. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Sorry, it's gonna fight you.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Well, whatever. Let's just see if this works. I'm not even getting any kind of like, if I just delete this, I'm not getting any linting whatsoever.
Bummer.
It's so frustrating. It's like literally.
I know, because you had this all set up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I have found that the TypeScript toolchain is just generally flawless. Like you install it and it just works. And ESLint as well, right? It just kind of, well, you have to fight through the config a little bit, but then it just works.
I said ESLint's a pain in the butt. TypeScript just works if you get to start a fresh TypeScript project.
Yeah.
When I've integrated it with non-TypeScript, it's just my worst nightmare.
Yeah. But this experience has been, wait, where the reference script on this behavior is missing.
What?
Which behavior are they talking about? Why did this command tab just jump here? Did you see that? It like jumped to my cursor. It's really annoying. Is it going to tell me which script? No?
Nope. Well, I guess regardless, we should add a start game script to something.
Yes. How do I create empty?
Yeah. And then we give it the prefab. Yeah. And did we take the damageable script off of the... Oh, I guess we want it on the tree. Okay.
Yes. But we probably should debug what's going on with the hit detection as well.
Well, I see a lot of trees on the field.
All right, so it looks like I'm just going to have to like shoot through that.
Hey.
Well, that works.
Yeah. All right.
I'm hitting another wall here. I'm hitting the walls down.
There are no walls. That wasn't where the walls were. Interesting. Can you wait? Are the trees? The trees are still hittable. They're still there.
Yeah. There's like some invisible thing here, right?
The invisible tree. Yeah. Can we unpaint the trees and paint one in? Because we have like fewer game objects. Oh shit, that's annoying.
What?
Well, that's what they said would happen is that the
oh, it affects the editor.
Affects the editor, yeah.
So do I just have to reload or what?
If you hit play again, are any trees there? Are they gone forever?
Why would it mutably edit the level data when you run that at the start?
Wait, this is not a good system.
Yeah, I'm a little skeptical now.
What?
All right, so what if I got rid of this prefab, right? Or got rid of this game object and then brought it back in?
Oh, I got bad news.
Oh, this is the wrong one.
That was not the right thing.
Um,
we don't have one.
Oh, I didn't create a prefab. Okay. Well, that's fine. We'll do it again.
Hmm. It was the gear icon for terrain to add the grass. The material was up there. Yeah. Instead of default terrain standard.
Okay, and I should really be editing the prefab here,
Prefab
right?
in this thing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is kind of hard to see things in, isn't it?
A little bit. It's beautiful. Well, if you hit F, maybe we'll just go to the center of it, which is where our player is.
F goes to the center.
Should.
You know what we should be doing? We should be there's got to be a way to like we want to be able to edit the prefab of the terrain. This is fine. This is fine. I think what we're going to do is we're going to say this is the prefab, and then this is a situation where I actually think it makes sense to have local modifications to the prefab, right? Because every scene is going to be a little bit different.
Mm.
Oh, it's not tree that I wanted to do. What am I doing?
The train's there. Now we have two.
Oh. Oh, I deleted the upper terrain. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Shit.
That's long gone now.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna just save this for now. I'm gonna hit play. I'm gonna see what's going on with our bullets.
I suspect they're not working. All right, that's I don't like it.
It's a little unusual, right?
That wasn't happening at the start of the day.
All right, what happens if we get rid of the terrain? We're gonna fall to the ground, right? So we need something holding us up.
You can put the plane back in. That'll do it. Very super hot right now. I can see why they didn't texture anything. It saved a lot of time.
Okay, so something is up. Did we add a bunch of geometry that we just didn't know about? I don't know what changed.
Yeah. Gosh, man, I don't even know how to read. What a useful diff is. You can check out the scene, I guess.
That's not gonna mess with it at all. And then all this stuff, I'm just gonna get rid of.
Okay.
I don't know what created these.
I think every time you make a terrain, you get those. I think that is the height data.
Oh,
maybe,
I see. It is
data.
like the terrain object itself, which includes the contour and everything like and the settings and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
I agree. I mean, I guess we could revert the scene. What changed in our wall prefab? What's going on there? That shouldn't have changed. The wall has a new box collider?
Maybe
So
I misclicked something when I was kind of like
I think
confused.
I think when you were adding box colors, the wall might have gotten one that's
Oh yeah,
everywhere.
yeah,
There we
yeah.
go.
It had a second one that I was messing with here.
Cool. Boom.
All right, that solves that. Okay, so now we can gradually reconstruct what we had before, right?
Yeah.
Let me just confirm.
Thank goodness.
Right. Okay. No longer madness, but we still can't shoot the trees, right? Because the shooting the trees or doing that thing with the start game messes with the.
I don't like it. Yeah.
Why would it do that? Did they explain this here?
Not really.
Word of caution: changing terrain data and in-game affects the terrain data in the editor.
I don't understand.
um, what I'm guessing is that in the editor, it keeps the terrain data in memory.
Hmm.
But does it change? Does it like if I were to reload the whole scene in Unity, would they come back or would they just be gone?
That's what I'm wondering. Yeah.
Yeah. Fixed it, posted in thread. I mean, this suggestion here is like weirdly. Oh, this is his edit. I see. Maybe what he was
Mm,
doing is he basically took this person's suggestion, and then when he said fixed it, posted in
I see.
thread, what he meant is that he posted this up here. Right. So we are basically left to like painstakingly place trees one by one.
Yeah, because I don't like that they also stay on the map when you shoot them. Like invisible collider, no good.
They don't. Do they stay on the map?
They were invisible colliders after the tree was destroyed using the previous system, which I thought was really weird too. Yeah.
Oh, is that what was happening?
Well,
Basically, they weren't going away.
they weren't going away for some reason. Yeah, and maybe it was because they were attached to the terrain instance. I don't know.
That's so funny. Okay. Well, whatever. What we're really trying to do here, honestly, is just to have ground that doesn't look terrible.
Yep.
And the trees are just extra.
Ground that you can't fall off of that doesn't look terrible.
Yeah. So start game is gone, right? We don't need this
Yeah, let's
anymore.
kill it.
Yeah.
I bet
Same
we'll
with C
have
sharp file.
I bet we'll have an invisible game manager object like that at some point, but not
Yeah,
here.
it'll probably be some state machine, right?
Hmm.
Like how far, like where are we in the game and that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like this is not ARM 64 accelerated. Like there's just things about this that seem a little bit chunky relative to like what I see people being able to do
I know
on
that
like Unity tutorials.
the editor is not accelerated. The games it produces are native.
That is interesting. How can you
Yeah.
tell?
Oh, that's what they said. I
Oh, you just okay, yeah.
if you because you if you examine this 2.0 Rosetta in Finder.
I think I only have Unity Hub exposed here. Oh, you know what? There's this, isn't there? Hub editor,
There you
and
go.
we are using this.
Uh-huh.
Give me info, Intel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you export the Mac app, you'll get a native M1 binary, which is cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. All right.
All right, we
Terrain.
get the terrain back in there one more time.
Bring it back. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, and we want to do minus 500,
Hmm.
minus 500.
Mm-hmm.
We want to do a terrain material here.
Just fields of green.
Yeah. I guess it's fine.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, it's great. Well, so maybe the question is like, yeah, what do rivers look like? Is there a way to do textures on this? Like, I'm really not sure. Is there other stuff we can paint? Can we only paint trees?
I think you can paint all kinds of objects, right?
Okay.
So the question is, how do we want to deal with trees right now? Do we want to make them shootable or do we not care?
I mean, I don't want to keep them shootable.
You want to keep them shootable. Okay,
Yeah.
so we just have to place the trees by
I think
hand.
so. Let's own that. Yeah.
Okay. How do we create a folder? Oh, you know what? There's no thing as a folder. It's just an object, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Trees.
I've read that like it actually becomes a performance problem to like nest objects for in a hierarchy for organizational purposes.
That's bullshit.
So what some people do is they'll do that start game thing that you just saw, and they'll reparent objects to the root level.
Weird.
Because if you think about it, these are all transforms, right? These all have transform components at the top. I don't know if I can get rid of this, right?
I think everything gets transformed.
I think everything has to have a transform. Yeah. And I better make sure these are all. Why do the transforms all start at some weird position? Is it just like where my cursor is?
I feel like
do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's the most Unity thing in the world, and I feel like nothing is actually starting in the correct spot.
Nothing is what it seems.
Trust no one. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I assume will soon be the motto of Judgment.
Oh no, the motto of Judgment was what was that ridiculous? Like the edge between truth and a lie is like something. I was like watching the trailer, some nonsensical bullshit philosophy.
I love it. I am so down for this boy band crime solving.
Yeah, that guy was part of SMAP.
Sorry, what is SMAP?
SMAP is the name of a Japanese boy band. Yeah. And then where's my gizmo mover thing? I want to move you. Does it not have a gizmo on this thing?
Like, where's the gizmo?
Where's the gizmo? Is it completely subsumed in the wall? Is that what's happening? No, there's no Z gizmo or
not a very good gizmo if it's in the wall. Yeah,
that's not a good gizmo.
Is it just like you have to hit tab or space or get my apps all mixed up?
Yeah, I definitely have done Blender a couple of times while I was trying to move this thing. Let's try -5. Oh, that's too far. -3, 2. Still no gizmo. I think I must have just like hit a button, right? Is that what happened?
Mm-hmm. Blender gizmo. Not showing. Hit space. All right.
I'm getting a little bell sound.
Cool. That's good.
I'm glad you think so.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, there's a bunch of threads. Gizmo disappeared. Can't get in the back.
How about I save and then get back?
Did you find the thread I just found is I'm on a Mac and I logged out and logged back in and then the Gizmo returned. If it helps, it happens on Windows to the next person.
All right, I'm getting to it.
Enable. I feel like Blender just needs to have
Unity version. Why is it complaining? Is it because I didn't update my Unity?
Maybe that's fine. You were just running it.
I know. Isn't that weird?
Wait.
Oh, you know what it is? I had Unity open and then I get pulled. That's what happens.
Oh no, that's so silly.
Yeah, let's see what happens. There's going to be some deep and dark corruption in our level file that we're not going to discover until the game is like ready to ship. I'm just going to delete these old ones. These other ones here.
No betas. No betas.
Is it weird living on the East Coast?
It is. My work schedule has been super strange.
Yeah.
Because everyone does stand up at noon and keeps working until like 9 p.m.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. No, I mean it's fine. I'm kind of
Wait,
yeah.
but presumably you've got other people that are like on the East Coast, right?
Literally
And
no one on my team, like no developers I'm working with, which is really strange. Totally perplexing.
the policy at Slack is that you need to be available. Like your team has like a home time zone, and you need to be available between the hours of 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, for the home time zone, which
That's
for
pretty
you would
reasonable.
be for you would be what
One to
1
one to
p.m.
five, yeah.
1 to 5, yeah.
DNS, dude, the toilets still flush clockwise over there. Yeah, American toilets. What was that Simpsons episode with the toilet that like reversed the
Yeah,
flow in
the
Australia?
Coriolis, yeah, yeah. So I had a colleague of mine who's from down under fully debunk the toilets flush the other direct, like in the other direction.
Is it not true?
I thought it was true my whole life. I was like, I totally believe this uncritically.
I feel lied to.
Yeah. So what the Coriolis effect is, okay, it is no more than you're moving one direction
Hmm.
or you're falling towards the ground and the earth moves under you. That's what the Coriolis effect is.
Okay.
Now you combine that with the inertia of air and all that kind of thing, and what you do is you end up getting a lot of like storms that like sort of center around the equator. So if you look at like weather maps, you'll see
Yes.
like coils around the equator.
Hmm.
Um, but it is infinitesimally, it's like totally a negligible force when it comes to water going into a toilet. And so the direction that a toilet flushes is entirely based on like just like where the little water holes are and like how they hit the surface and what direction they're being pushed
Now,
by
do you
that.
think Australian toilets choose to go the other direction for tourists' sake? Is this like one of their prime cultural exports where they're like, sorry, we
We'll
get
manufacture a toilet that goes the other way.
yeah, exactly.
Well, the thing is, I don't think we as Americans have even verified to ourselves.
I was gonna say
What's
my
going
toilet
on here?
doesn't.
Why do I have two of these? Did I? Oh, I don't know what the fuck just happened.
I was gonna say my toilet doesn't spin; it just goes.
How do I open this?
You go
Is
to the
there really?
projects.
Oh shit.
As if any of
Okay.
Unity Hub makes sense. It's the worst.
Yeah. Why can't I just click on the app that's there and open the app? Why
Uh,
do we have Unity Hub again? What does it do?
we don't get a choice. I don't know.
You have to have it.
You have to. It's the only way to run Unity at this point. Yeah,
Only way to do it.
yeah. So
You gotta have it.
the Coriolis effect you're talking about is why hurricanes and typhoons spin different directions, and I think that might be the only useful example,
Yeah, I think there are all kinds of other
or the only one that
things
we
that we'll
see.
talk
Yeah,
about, but that's the
yeah.
only one that like we really experience like firsthand. But yeah, bummer on the toilet thing. It
I know it's really disappointing. I'm sad to have that joke removed from my life.
yeah, well, I think what I was going to say is we've never verified to ourselves that A, flushing toilets spin in the first place,
Right,
and
exactly.
B, that they all spin in the same direction. Right. I
Mm-hmm.
like I think if you actually look at the way that a toilet flushes, it's kind of like a hole in the middle of
Yeah, there's no
really it just kind of
whirlpool.
all rushes in. It doesn't even necessarily have a lot of rotation unless you have like a particular type of toilet. Especially you got like a low flow toilet. It's not necessarily gonna like
I will say
spiral a lot, right?
one of the joys of homeownership is that I can go to the Toto website and order the fancy Japanese toilet with like
Are
four
you
buttons.
did you order one?
I haven't ordered one. I got to do my market research, but I am absolutely
Let's
installing
do your market research right now.
the heated seat. So here's the thing. They sell toilets, they sell the bottom part, and they sell the top part, and they're two different things from this place. No, you're in the that's a very specific product.
This is a bidet.
Yeah, that's a dedicated.
I understand. Like you can't even read the text over here. It's just like I tried getting a plugin that turns that off, but I'm in a different browser right now. Lavatories. toilet.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so are you getting one of these things?
Absolutely not. That is
Space toilets.
$17,000.
Oh my god, I had no idea.
I mean,
I really had no
it
idea.
has underlighting. Look at that thing.
Dude.
Now, maybe that one.
This is a wall hung toilet. So what is this? What is a wall hung toilet? Oh, it's just like there's space underneath it. So you can slide your little like what is the stool? The squatty potty.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Which I have been tempted to purchase actually. I'm wondering like how what kind of lifestyle change with this what kind of impact would this have on my life? And it'd probably be pretty positive, I'd say.
Yeah. Now here you go. One of these maybe.
Okay, the prices are getting a little bit more sane here. These are all just regular toilets though, right?
Right, because you have to buy washlet. You have to buy the fancy thing on top of it.
So basically what you're saying is you got to buy a toilet and then convert it into the thing that you want.
Yeah, well, and they'll sell you that too. Like they make the thing to fit the thing.
Why not just sell you a reasonably priced one that has it already built in, right?
I think they have too many options. I think they want to give you the premium experience.
Oh, this is a washlet plus connection. This is what you're talking
exactly.
about, right?
So you could buy so you can choose which one of those.
Washlet plus. Okay, these come with it. You should get a wall hung toilet, man. Just do it, man.
I thought it was not that expensive, huh? There you go. Yeah, one of those looks like the right thing.
I think you can buy like an actual toilet for like $100. I don't think they're that expensive.
Yeah, go to Home Depot or Amazon. Sure, Amazon will sell you one.
I want to buy a toilet.
This is gonna ruin your Amazon results.
Oh, I'm not logged in. It doesn't matter.
They're still listening.
Look at this. You can get a $285 toilet here with comfort seat. No, not good enough.
I like the third one that is like all right angles. That's really funny.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like we designed this in Blender day 3.
Eat extrude us to scale.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, this bidet thing is only $25. I'm actually kind of shocked.
I'm not sure.
So you can get like a couple $100. $1,000 toilet or bust. I don't even think that's enough money, man. I like if you look at this, in order to get one of these things here with the washlet built in, I think you're looking at like $1,500 minimum, right?
And I want a heated seat.
So washlet plus is not heated. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. I'm just throwing out there.
All right, let me just like click on this thing and there are options. Holy shit. There you go.
What is a rough-in option? I don't want anything rough-in. That's very clear.
I need a guide to this. Is there like a FAQ? There's washlet and washlet plus, and there's Neo Rest. Is it Neo Rest or what the hell is this?
Part by part, baby.
Okay.
Wait, sorry. There is a $1,400 remote control stand. What world?
Wow. See, this is all MSRP, right?
This is the fucking Apple XDR display stand for $1,000.
So you can have 2 rolls of toilet paper, one on either side of this thing. Because
where's the remote control go?
No, the remote control like sits on top here, right?
Oh, I see. It's a Bluetooth.
Can I zoom in? Click to zoom.
Nope.
Their website's broken. I think I have to click this. There we go. I think you made a sound, and it sounded like kind of clicky.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just talking to the cats.
No. Oh, yeah. Oh, so you were talking to the cats. What it sounded like is when I clicked this button, I thought this website had sound effects. I was like really excited. This Zoom's not very good. I can't read the control panel here.
No, but Bluetooth.
I can full screen. Oh my god. There we go.
Oh yeah.
Pressure, position,
user. Oh, it's got user profiles. See, that's fancy.
Oh yes, presets. Yes. I mean, if you think about it, like you'd want the
presets.
The front hole or the back hole if you had that kind of equipment. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you've done exactly what I've done, which is go to this website and say, "What the fuck."
It's actually totally bewildering to me. I'm. How about this wire cutter bidet toilet? The best bidet, toilet, or toilet seat washlet reviews by Wirecutter. Excellent.
I'm
There
so
we
sad
go.
this is the New York. There you go.
$430. Oh, this is just the seat.
See, they fuck with
Why
you, man.
not? I want the whole thing, man. I want a right-angled toilet.
Mm-hmm.
Man. Hey, look at all this guts on the outside. I don't want this.
uh,
I want
hey,
everything tightly integrated. I want system integration. That's what you're paying for.
no popper shows for me. Yeah.
Okay, there's Hello Tushy, which appears to be like the Casper mattress or Warby Parker
Oh,
of.
I have one of these. It's fine.
Oh, you had one of these.
Yeah, I
So
feel
you
like
already had a bidet toilet. Is that what you're
I
telling
had
me?
a popper's bidet toilet. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, $119. Slumming it.
Just okay. My experience in Japan was better.
Oh man, the toilets in Japan, the heated stuff.
I
Yeah.
know. I know.
I'll tell you one thing that's a problem with I was in San Francisco once and I was at somebody's house and they had one of these fancy toilets.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they had like one of these things, right? Or it just like looked similar to this. And for the life of me, I could not figure out how to flush the toilet. So I just left the bowl with my stuff in it. You know what I mean? Like,
Did you ever watch Bob's Burgers?
um, my partner watches Bob's Burgers,
Oh,
so I watch it in passing.
one of my favorite running jokes is that at some point they redo their bathroom with like a bunch of postmodern toilets with no fixtures or knobs, and no one knows how to use it. And
Okay.
it's like a visual throwaway gag from then on, where like every time they open the bathroom, it's like this weird avant-garde, like super modern thing. And I assume it's that every time no one knows how to flush it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So that's the disadvantage is if someone takes a crap in your toilet and they can't flush it. A very practical problem. Yeah, it is a materialist problem. It's not purely like, oh, I can just need to change my perspective on things.
Yeah,
That's a real problem.
yeah, no philosophical differences to be had there.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, anyway, Unity installed.
uh,
Thanks for going on that journey with me, because I've been on that journey for a
okay.
minute and have
I had to see it.
I've derived no
Oh, I've got
answers.
the gizmo back. Woo! I am deeply relieved. And how
Phew.
do I duplicate? Is there a duplicate hotkey?
Is it Control D?
Let's try it. Oh, the gizmo's gone. Command D.
Yep.
Yeah. Now it's so drab and uniform. Maybe I should turn snapping off. This is not ultimately the ideal tree for our game.
No.
I think maybe we want like a tree system where like it's not just a bunch of discrete objects. There's just like bunches that kind of like carve away.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
But that's complicated, right? I
Mhm.
think I just want to get something that gives me a little bit of perspective here. That's fun to drive around. And is the box collider still are either of these things still necessary? Oh, we want them shootable, right? That's
We
right.
do want them shootable, yeah. And it's a trigger, so we shouldn't run through it. Trigger shouldn't. Can we drive through it? Yeah,
We
great.
can drive through it. Yeah.
But
And that's what we want,
and you
right?
can shoot it.
Oh my
It's
God.
exactly what I want.
Fantastic.
It's perfect.
All right. Let's make a little folder here. The reason why performance suffers from this is that as you nest stuff, the transforms are actually all being multiplied as they go down as the game is running.
Gosh, gotcha. Yep, that makes sense.
Okay. All right. But, we're really dedicated to this, like, make our own assets thing now. We've got our own trees floating around. It's quite nice.
Yeah, got our own tanks. Artisanally crafted cubes.
I did actually rebuild the cube in Blender.
And the bullet.
I did. And with all my newfound skills, right? I was just able to replicate what the same process that you surely went through when you made it originally.
Yep.
All right. Look at this cheeky little forest here.
I like it. I'm digging it.
All right. I feel bad now though. I destroyed our little floating platform here. We can get it back, right?
Yeah, it's fine. Well, so on the terrain,
Yes.
can we? Platform is interesting. As I say, can we paint the terrain up to 1? Like, can we paint it to 1 unit high?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. I see.
So you'd prefer to have that, right?
I mean, you might as well use it.
Okay. Basic terrain. Let's see. Create neighbor terrains. No. Paint trees. Paint terrain. Is this what we're talking about?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So is there
Raise or lower terrain. That's kind of what I want, right?
Oh hey, paint texture. That's cool. Set height.
Set height.
There we go. Yeah, let's set some height to 1.
I want something like tile oriented. It's gonna be it.
You can make a new brush maybe?
Yeah.
The fuck?
I think it's just like
What is that? Yeah. Is that
I
just a square?
think these are just images, and anything that is maybe it uses like grayscale to determine where to paint.
Yeah,
Right?
it looks like it's doing a black and white image mask thing. So
Okay.
I think if you handed a perfectly square white image, you'll get a square brush.
Okay.
Yeah. Of size 1, yeah. Weird.
God, Pixelmator, just so bad. Yeah, whose brilliant idea was it that like I want all of my controls to be discrete windows in the OS?
It's native Mac, Jeff. It's a very Mac-like photo editor. Don't you like
I
it?
guess so. No,
I can't stand Pixelmator. It makes no sense to me.
it makes no sense at all. All right. Okay. So where is my pen? I think this is it.
Where's your anything?
Where's my anything? Did I draw the pixel or not? I can't.
I don't know.
Did it crash? It totally crashed.
Very Mac-like.
Is there like Paint Shop on the web? Like I'm getting kind of.
Do you want me to just do you want me to just make you a Photoshop 16 by 16 white square and put it in Slack for
I
you?
want a 1 by 1 square.
1 by 1. Okay. Yeah, you got it.
Compose ping online. I don't want to.
Hey,
Paint shop.
I'm just doing this for you.
Online. I have to fight it, man. I got to thrash. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Nope. I'm not going to do it. I quit.
Okay. Great.
The problem with the brush, the problem with painting textures is we basically lose our tile orientation completely, right? Unless there's a way that we can figure out how to like uniformly paint. I'm going to be off by like n number of pixels.
That's fair.
Now, that might be fine if we just lay nav meshes everywhere, and that's just the way that the game is created. Although we can't do that per se, because then the Pathfinder needs to work around game objects as well.
If you turn snapping back on, does the brush snap?
Good question. It doesn't look like it's relevant to this. It says it's available when I'm positioning things.
That's fair.
You set tool handle rotation to global. It doesn't look like it's available to me right now. I think this whole terrain thing is not appropriate for our use case.
Great. There's a white ping in Slack for you anyway.
Oh. Yeah, I'll try it.
Okay. I'm curious if there's a way to keep Unity like in a more forced grid situation. Like I'd really like everything to be on the grid. Not just us snapping some shit, you know. I don't know. Maybe it's nice that trees can be off the grid, actually. I take it back. Huh. You didn't want to find your window.
Yeah, what? There we go. No, that's not what I wanted. I wanted columns.
Yeah. Maybe akin to Blender, you can do Command 1, 2, 3, and 4 to switch those views in Finder.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Command 1 is icons, 2 is list, 3 is columns.
That is good to know. Does your downloads folder just become like your like kind of Scratchpad workspace where like you put it like your temp folder?
Sort of. I clean it out every once in a while though, or try to.
Yeah, that's a pretty good idea. Now everybody on Twitch knows that I keep financial PDFs in my downloads folder.
Oof.
Square brush. That's like a big old zoomed out square. Opacity 100, right?
Uh-huh.
And
make brush size 1? Is it going to be a one tile thing? It doesn't look like a square at all. Just to start off with.
It looks so like what am I doing? Am I like
set height to 1 maybe. Let's see what that looks like. Ugh.
Yeah, I
hate it.
It's tapering it. I think that's just the nature of the tool, right?
Never mind. Okay.
I mean, do we want to do this? Like, do we just want to?
Well, the nice thing is you can walk up those hills. I want to. I feel like I want a more regimented game than Unity's just rando painting.
Like you want a grid, is what you're saying?
I think so.
Okay. Well, I think we just need to make a decision to commit to the grid, and then from there we can figure out how to do it. Until then, it's platforms it is.
Sounds good.
And then I think the solution that that the person in chat last time suggested was to basically make special wall geometry, right? Like this probably just needs to be like a single face or like a single rectangle collider or something like that. We can make tile versions of that. And that way we won't get the Z fighting issue that we were running into before.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, let's make a plane.
Yeah, those are also non-destructible walls, so it's interesting.
Platform. Oh gosh.
So it's at the origin inside the platform's game object, but that's not at the origin.
And why does it?
You'll love to see it.
Yeah. I do actually. Okay. And then did I lose my gizmo?
Yeah, it's gone. It's gone. No gizmos. It's really tragic.
It's not awesome.
Oh, careful. Last time we quit Unity, we ended up looking at toilets, so.
Hey, I guessed it.
Nice. If you don't make it green, it's perfect.
Am I really going to lose my gizmo like every single time?
That's awful. I wonder if it's paint mode that's doing it.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to try this one more time.
Okay. I believe.
What?
I was about to
you got like a shit-eating grin right now.
I was about to suggest more painting.
Okay. What would you suggest?
Oh, I was curious how the paint texture stuff worked. If we could paint our rivers that way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, totally. Okay, the gizmo's back. And then as soon as I choose a paint thing. Right.
Uh-huh.
And then I'll select something else. Oop.
What gizmo is that? Whoa, you got a different gizmo. You're in rotational gizmo.
You know what it is? You're right. There must be some mode button. Is
What
it
the
this?
fuck?
Ah, it's
Huh?
this little thing up here.
Okay.
Whatever the hell this is. Whatever the hell this is. There's buttons for this, but they're different from the Blender ones, and there's just no way I'm going to be able to remember any of this.
Okay. Thank goodness.
New terrain. Super unimaginative asset naming. Okay, you were going to suggest that we try to paint a river.
Yeah, hit that, and then I'm curious what paint texture
Yeah,
offers to us.
paint texture.
So if you just pick any different shader, I think we have let's use the red one just because it's in there.
You mean a different material?
A different.
Oh, we can just set the albedo here, right?
Oh, okay.
Ah,
Nope. Oh, hit edit terrain layers. Below, yeah. The fuck? Oh god, terrain layer is its own type? Okay.
yeah, it's its own.
One of those was create instead of add?
Okay,
What?
it's just an image,
Just an
right?
image, yeah.
So clearly, this is like a deep thing for this random tool.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I'm not sure.
Details, I'm guessing.
That's like tiny rocks and shit, right? Like we
Yeah,
can, yeah.
yeah.
Which is
And
cool.
then paint texture. I don't even know what it's doing, really.
I think if we had more layers? I'm actually not sure. Okay. Well, my curiosity's been sated for the moment, at least.
It says paint the selected material layer into the terrain texture. We don't have a terrain texture, right? We just have a standard shader
Oh,
that's
gotcha. Yeah.
it's just like a solid. Like if there was a albedo map on this,
Hmm.
which is why this is a little bit confusing to me. And if I change this color, doesn't it change the material for everything?
I think so, yeah.
Like if I make, oh, God damn it. If I make this platform terrain, and I go back to terrain, and I edit this. Did something happen? Did I uncheck something?
I mean, you selected a gray.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. So this is editing the common texture, right?
yeah. Interesting. Okay. Okay, make the platform white. It needs to be white. The green is so bad. Yeah.
All right. Um, okay. So what is the right way to proceed in this? Because there's just like Unity to me strikes me as this like giant blank canvas with a million different annoying things to fiddle with.
Hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, and we've fallen victim to it a couple times. It's easy. Too easy.
Yeah. And so what's the right way to kind of move forward? Like, are there
Yeah.
certain things about this that like we want to like kind of figure out initially, or
Hmm. Multiplayer, I think, is the biggest question.
okay,
I feel like doing weapon switching and tuning gameplay and stuff we can do.
right?
I have the least answers for can we network this. So
So yeah, multiplayer, the options for like in the spirit of just like using something off the shelf as opposed to rolling our own networking.
we should not roll our own for this one, I don't think.
Yeah, so the API I've been looking at is called Mirror.
Hmm.
It seems to be the one that like people like and interesting stuff with Mirror networking. I I don't use this browser normally just for the just use it for the stream, which means that
I always enjoyed that. Yeah, my Google searches, whenever I would search for can gave me like Ruby stuff first, and never anything about dancing. I was like, okay, you've learned.
You're learning how to do can.
I wish.
Yeah.
Only the gem.
So CCU, what is that? Concurrent connected users.
That sounds
Is that
right.
what that is?
Yeah.
They're able to get 480 of them. It kind of looks crappy, but whatever. So
We don't need 480.
no. Guides, do they have like a quick start? I watched a video on this and it seemed okay. I mean, the basic idea is that it's all state synchronization. So you basically pick either whole components or individual variables inside scripts that are synchronized. And then they have this kind of style of like API that I've come over the years to dislike a little bit, but I think this is just the Java world or the C# world expressing itself a little bit. But you get these attributes that you stick on functions. Is there a way that I can just like find a project that uses this? There must be a demo project, right? Packages, maybe? No. Basic example. What we want is like Pong, right? Okay, this is cool. Oh, they don't get into the code at all.
Oh, is it is it a no code version of Pong? Like
no, I think there has to be a script, right? There must be something in there.
Unless you're saying unless you can tell it just to sync the paddle state and then
it's included in the asset store package of Mirror.
Okay. No, there's a lot of code there. Great.
All right. Well, let's actually check it out. Let's see if.
I mean, let's bring it in from the asset store. We're going to use it. Might as well.
Oh God, how do I go to the asset store? Oh, that's not what I wanted to do.
Wait, always open in browser from menu.
Oh, I think was I in one of whatever. There we go. All right. So Mirror.
Nice.
Add to my assets. I accept. I don't know why I just accepted. Open in Unity. Open in Unity. Yes.
Sweet. I'm so glad you got the crab monster.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
You went independently downloaded the crab monster.
I did. Yeah, I needed it. Well, I got it so I could make one of the title cards for our videos.
I saw that. Yeah.
All right, that's downloaded. I'm just going for it. Import.
Ooh, that's a lot of stuff. Yeah, hell yeah.
I think I just quadrupled our compile time now.
Great. I love it. What were we doing anyway? It doesn't matter.
What were we doing? I don't know.
Oh shit. Okay, this is a little silly. Are we
I'm
gonna?
not actually sure what it's doing, to be honest. Is it compiling? Is it just is it merely
Oh,
compiling?
reload script assemblies. It's doing, yeah.
Reticulating splines
Are we gonna start? We're gonna have to start doing dev on Windows, aren't we? I'm gonna install Unity Hub.
on Windows.
Yeah, why not?
I'll do it if you do it. I think like the argument is like, okay, do you optimize for like the 10% of the time where you're just sitting around waiting for something to happen?
Mm.
Or do you optimize for the other 90% of the time where you're doing like small things in the OS that are kind of like have rough edges because either you're not familiar with it or because, quite frankly, Windows kind of sucks, right?
Yeah, I guess I'm not sure how much waiting around we're about to do.
Yeah, it's true. Like if the rebuild times are prohibitive, then you're basically it's going to be really bad, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like we've got it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is there a scene switcher? Can I like go to a different scene? Do I not have?
We have a scenes folder and we can make more scenes.
Oh, scenes, packages. Sorry about.
I had to blur our faces, but yeah.
Mirror
Ooh, okay. It just gets its own folder.
examples. Pong.
Ooh, did it just install a bunch of
Scenes.
examples into our shit? All right, sure. All right, it plays. It's just gonna play Pong.
So I think it's networked. So we're gonna have to do this whole thing before the game will start. Actually, so I need to actually build it.
And semi-binary. Okay.
Yeah. Or no, it's local networking. So unless I do like
Mm.
ngrok or something like that, I don't even think ngrok will work because this is TCP, right? Like,
Yep. That'll be too painful.
I've never actually built a Unity
Oh,
project.
I think it's file.
Build and run, Command
Yeah.
B.
Huh?
Uh, is there not an output folder or anything like that?
Mm-mm.
Unity, I'll just save it as new folder, out. What do I do? Pong.
Pong? Yeah.
Then while that's going, I like how I have this thing over my view. I can't move it. Oh, build is probably what I wanted to do. Anyways.
Instead of build and run? Yeah.
No. Oh, God.
Cool.
It full screened.
Hell yeah, dude.
How do I think I can actually avoid this, right?
Yeah, I think if you hold down something while you launch it, it'll give you options.
Unity build, no full screen. There's definitely a way to do this, right?
Mm-hmm. Dean says that he respects our decision to switch to making a Pong clone. Yeah. Aren't all games Pong at the very heart of it? Hmm.
This feels more complicated than it should be.
Yeah, right? Isn't that weird?
I don't want to do anything programmatic. I shouldn't have to like add a game object for this. build settings.
Nope. Come on. Player settings? Bottom. Holy shit. Resolution and presentation.
Full screen mode.
Windowed.
I think that's it.
You might have to build it again?
Yep.
Okay.
Command B.
Oh, is that all it is? That's easy.
Yeah. Hey, that's what I want to see. All right. So now, if I try and, there we go. That's roughly what I want to do here. Sorry, it's probably looks a little bit confusing. I'm gonna run it over here. All right, so let's make this the server.
Okay.
We're gonna do localhost 9999. Host server and client. Localhost 9999. That's the client. Oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
Let's maybe switch around. Let's do, and let's make this one the server and the client.
Okay.
And let's make this one the client. Am I doing the port settings correctly? Default port for mirror is 77. Maybe I'll just like not set anything in that and see what happens. It might be getting confused by my internet parlance here. Okay, host server and client. Client. Oh yes, there we go. Okay, so now I gotta figure out the controls. Is it W and S? And then over here it is arrow keys, and I have to have the window selected. So
let's see. You can't play both at once, can you?
I can't play both at once. Yeah. So this looks reasonably good, right? It looks kind of synced. Obviously, there's going to be almost zero network latency. You know what I mean? So let's actually take a look at the setup of the project, right? So we have
So I see the network manager there.
Our sort of play field here.
Oh, if you hit the 2D button, you'll at the top, yeah, you'll probably.
Yeah, nice. Racket 2 spawn points.
Cool.
And the spawn points are there because it's not going to create the game objects prior to the network connection happening. Right. Got the table here. Looks like we've just got a bunch of like colliders on the edges here. You can't see the highlights because it's a little bit low contrast, but they're definitely there.
Nice.
Dotted line, which is just sprites. Oh, there's a sprite render thing. Cool. Network manager, main camera is probably just totally static, right? Okay, so let's actually take a look at source code. Can I open this? Oh yeah, this is just literally in my assets folder, right? Okay.
I see. So there's a network manager Pong script. Looks like it's doing most of the heavy lifting here.
Out. How do I do folder and get ignore out like that?
You can just
Okay. Great. Okay. Let's close some of this stuff up, and now we're in Mirror. So I think we got the whole full source code of Mirror in here.
Yeah, if you go into examples Pong, it should be there.
Yep. Great. Okay. So network manager, kind of cool. You like the way that you actually add stuff to controls in the editor to actually edit a game object is you actually just decorate the script with stuff.
Mhm.
So this is both like runtime code and also editor code as well.
Whoa.
Yeah, pretty weird, right?
Hmm.
It has a couple of prefabs, or at least a couple of things that like know where the spawn points are, and then there's a callback that is part of the I think part of the mirror library called on server add player and on server disconnect, right?
Mhm.
I think that this default kind of like you saw that little like control panel that like first started up. I think that's built into the library as a default thing. You don't have to use that if you don't want to. It's kind of like the
I think
lobby.
so, yeah. Because I saw that sort of all over that on their example site too.
Okay, so we take a look at the player. This is interesting. So first of all, we inherit from network behavior rather than mono behavior. Oh gosh, my thing doesn't work. So frustrating.
Sorry.
I had it all hooked up and everything. It worked.
That's so weird.
And I just went away from it for a couple days and it stopped working.
It's not a good sign.
No. No, I mean, basically we're just like completely different tool set and it's flaky. And I've actually, as I've been working in C#, I've noticed like I have other C# projects that are just like totally separate from Unity, and they were also super flaky, which is a little bit disappointing. I wonder if it's because this isn't the top level. What if I just like dove in and made Unity the top level? Then I opened player, Pong player. Okay, well at least it's telling me no definition found, so maybe the
it's happier, yeah.
I don't see the C# toolkit starting up yet, but we'll see. It's oh, there we go. Okay, so that was the problem. Is that I had the game folder open, but because our game folder has Blender and Unity, like the solution file wasn't at the top level of the project.
Okay.
All right, so this is starting to feel a little bit more comfortable here. Whew. Okay, so network behavior itself derives from mono behavior, so it's just like a thin layer in between. It's got a bunch of properties. Like, are you server controlled? Are you client controlled? Like, they have this notion of entities having client authority or server authority. And basically, it's like, can an entity on the client side tell the server exactly what state it is? And I think the server is just responsible for broadcasting that state if the client says so. Now, the more client authority you have, the more liable you are for cheating. And I think more generally, the more liable you are to have weird behavior, because the client, it's the same problem that we had in Manchester, where the client doesn't know what the world is doing because other players are doing different stuff that it hasn't heard about yet. But if the client just says, okay, this is where I am, without having like taken into account the fact that it collided against a player, but it just didn't know about it, the server's just going to respect that if you have client authority on that entity.
Okay.
Client authority on the flip side is faster, right? Like, you're going to like press input and you're going to see the change immediately, right? Okay, Pong. This actually doesn't have a lot of bells and whistles to it. It has this annotation here called server callback. But
call this on the server. Okay.
Where is this actually being called? On collision enter 2D.
I mean, that's a lifecycle callback.
Is it a lifecycle callback?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So what is interesting about this, right? Is how these types of annotations actually get implemented. I actually took a look at the mirror source code the other day, and I was like, ooh, they implemented it in the most like blunt object kind of way. Let's see if we can find a more complicated example though. Is Pong tanks?
Is it there? All right.
Update. Okay, this is good. It's got notions of commands and client RPCs. Let's try running this one. mirror, examples, tanks. Never run this one before, so we'll see. We're going to see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Scene, and then the folder scene inside of it. Nice.
See what
Okay.
you get.
Do I need to change the player settings again? I don't think so.
You probably need to build it though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this player settings. Yeah, I hope not.
The build thing is funny in that, okay, it did Pong for me again.
So it's still running? Yeah.
I was about to, was it still running?
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's definitely not running anymore. Let's try build and run. Okay.
Looks familiar.
All right, so what's... Oh, God. It's got like kind of rotation controls. I don't know how to shoot, though.
I mean, classic
Space bar.
Classic tank controls, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And then this one here. Let's shoot here. Anyways, I don't need to shoot on the second tank. But so, okay, we get the idea, right? You have two tanks, you can drive them both around. Let's take a look at the source code and what's going on. This is actually interesting because it's got a projectile, and the projectile presumably is actually a physical object that's moving across the screen with a velocity, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's got a force, right? Okay, so if you update, let's see what's going on here. It's a network behavior. I don't know what these attributes mean.
I think that's actually, that's in the sidebar of the visual editor.
Okay, yeah, so, okay, that makes sense. So this is an editor, control here. If it's not the local player, so this update code is actually running on both the client and server for every object, right? But if it's not for the whatever player is being controlled, basically if you're not the local client, then it's basically gonna early out.
Right. And on the server, I guess maybe it does. I mean, who knows? But it probably does something similar to like it receives a message for each player.
Yeah.
And runs this as the local player for each of them.
Yeah. Cool. And then if it fires, mm-hmm. it calls command fire, which is this one here.
Okay.
Now, this is a little funny. There's the notion of command and there's the notion of client RPC. And a command, I don't know why they didn't just call this server RPC. If you call this, it basically sends an API call, an RPC to the server. It says, hey, so this code is running on the server, if that makes sense. What's a little bit confusing is this is client code, right? We know that it's client code up here. And then just take my word that when it calls command fire, it doesn't actually run this code directly.
Does it run that client RPC at the end though?
It does because the server calls RPC on fire.
And sends it back to the client?
And sends it back to the client.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. And this is because the server has authority over spawning objects, which actually makes a lot of sense. If if you don't have that notion, then I don't know. Basically, remember how in Manchester we were like spawning objects in multiplayer, and we had this problem of like, what is the ID?
Yep,
right.
Yep.
We need to actually synchronize the IDs. The way that they solve this problem in this model is they just say you can't spawn an object unless you're the server.
Makes sense.
And the server can tell you it's got the ID of this value, and then you're on your way, right? Now,
none of this actually seems that bad.
It doesn't seem bad, right?
Yeah.
Now, what this is probably going to cause, though, is it has no prediction, right? There's no notion of client prediction. So when you're on the client, you hit a button, you fire something. It takes however many frames for that fire message to get to the server. The server says, okay, you fired. I'm going to just like create a projectile for you. And then I'm going to tell all the clients that this projectile got created. And then we wait for however many frames for that to go back to the clients. And then you set the animation for shoot, right?
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Yeah.
No prediction at all. Is there any way to do it?
I've seen some projects on GitHub that do prediction, but I don't know exactly what they're doing. And I also think that a lot of games solve the entity spawning problem by continuing to not create entities except on the server. So you can do prediction for motion, right? Your entity already exists. It's not a question of whether or not like you have the wrong ID because you created, you spawn an object on the client and you spawn the object on the server, but the IDs don't match, right? Like we actually had to jump through a ton of hoops to get that to work correctly. Do you remember us like trying to like figure out like what was the parent action and what frame did it happen on? Like all those things.
I mean, that was hard.
It was hard, right? It's a hard problem, and I actually think it's unless you have deterministic simulation, you can't do it, right? And this is not deterministic resim. This is just like the server telling you, hey, I don't care what frame you're on, but like now you have a bullet and it's here. It's on this position.
Okay.
Right? And as long as you don't try to like, as long as the server has authority on whether or not an object exists and whether or not an object hits something and like does damage, like stuff that like is an actual like game state changing thing, you basically want the server to be authoritative the entire time.
Yep.
And that might be fine forever, right? Like I think we made the assumption we were working on Manchester that we wanted to have, well, because synchronization, because like sending state across the wire was a hard problem. We're just like, why don't we just like simulate over inputs, right?
Yeah, I mean, I like that this actually takes care of the state for us.
Yeah.
Very easily.
Yeah, very easily. And if I look at the projectile, what I'm a little bit surprised that I'm not seeing is a notion of what is synchronizing the position of the projectile, right? Let's take a look at
it's a network behavior and it has a transform. I think it just does it.
Yeah, let's check it out. Let's go to the prefabs. Projectile. So you'll see that all of these prefabs have a notion of network identity.
Okay.
This is the component that actually gives it a unique ID that is synchronized across all.
Gotcha.
All hosts, all peers, let's say.
Okay.
And you have to add that, or else like the server has no way of saying, hey, client, you need to set tank A to like this position, right? Unless it has network identity, then the server has no way of addressing like objects that the client has, right? And vice versa, right? If the client says, hey, I moved object 1 to this position, there needs to be a shared notion of what those names are between the client and server. And that's what network identity gives you. Now, what I've seen in other examples is the notion of a network transform. So yeah, here, you can see one here. This one's attached to the tank, right? And what the network transform is doing is, I think what it does is, it's not the actual transform object itself, because you see that you have a transform here. But what this is doing is it's like synchronizing. It's like reading the value of the transform on whatever object, whatever either client or server object that has authority, and then sending it to the equivalent network transfer. So it's both doing like sending and receiving of transform updates that then get they basically then get applied to the actual transform object, which controls rendering.
Yeah, it's interesting. I appreciate the like local notion here, where it seems like it's it looks like it maybe is doing some tweening if the positions get out of sync, but like
Exactly. Yeah.
is handling the resyncing gradually over
Yeah.
time. That's great.
So it'll take some studying of exactly like
Hmm.
how this works basically. But you notice that this has client authority checked.
Mm-hmm.
And what that means is that any local input on the client that's modifying the transform, the server will regard as authoritative. So
Okay.
if the client moves to 0.11, it just tells the server, hey, I'm at 1.1, and the server's like, okay, cool, right?
Hmm.
Now that's fine, except if you have situations where you have like mutable terrain, right? Like, if you have like walls and stuff that can blow up, maybe it's actually impossible for the client to inhabit a particular
Hmm.
space, right? That was another advantage of doing deterministic simulation in Manchester, is that like, despite all the problems we had spawning entities and that kind of thing, figuring out the existence of entities, once you trusted that all the entities were synchronized and the simulation is deterministic, you just wrote your code,
Yep.
right? You didn't care about like potential conflicts and that kind of thing. So anytime you have client authority, you're going to have to like potentially do rules checking, right?
Mm-hmm.
On the server, just like, hey, is that actually possible? And if so, I don't think you should do that, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's also not that bad though.
Yeah.
Neat.
One final note before we sign up for the
Yeah.
night. I know it's late over there, so I'll try to keep it quick.
You're good.
We mentioned how like there's this magical programming pattern where like somehow the fact that this function is annotated with command means that when the client runs this, it's not really running this function. It's running some function that like generates a network packet that gets sent to the server,
Mm-hmm.
and the server has some receiving end that knows that when it gets that, it runs this on the equivalent object with the same network identity, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's all this like machinery that's happening in the background. And I mentioned to you earlier that like this is the style of API that like I have kind of grown to dislike over time. This is very Ruby on Rails, right? Like I'm gonna like write a
Mm.
decorator on a function and then just have a bunch of like magic stuff happen in the background.
Yeah. Is it worse than model behavior already though? Because I feel like we're in magic stuff land immediately with Unity.
Potentially, but like let me explain how this actually works.
Okay.
So what they do is they they compile the program into intermediate language, right? There's like some intermediate representation of the program that's not C sharp,
Hmm.
but is also not the CLR bytecode as well. CLR is like the common language runtime that all like .NET code runs in. So there's all different languages, like Visual Basic will compile down to that, and then like friggin' F sharp will compile down to that. All those kind of like managed Microsoft family of languages. They'll compile it down to the intermediate representation, and then they'll iterate over all the attributes, because all this is the same thing as it is in Java, right? Like all these are just like attributes in the source code.
Mm-hmm.
So you can basically like use a reflection library to say, okay, give me all the methods on a class and list all the annotations or other attributes on each of those methods. It's just text. It doesn't have any like real significance at the language level, aside from just being just like tags, tags on these very simple programming constructs. And so as a post-processing step of the compile, it will go through and update the intermediate representation code based on these attributes. So if you go into Mirror, and I believe it's an editor, you go to Weaver. Weaver is this open source project that basically goes in and like rewrites. It uses this project called mono.cecilx or cecilx, which is basically a library to manipulate the intermediate representation of a mono compiled project. So they're basically going in like recompiling the code to get this to work correctly. And
Is this worse than TypeScript? We're transpiling through like so many layers.
yeah, this as I was saying to you before, this style of thing makes me a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right. And it's not just because I think this is a bunch of machinery that you have to worry about. That is actually probably the primary problem. But there's a secondary thing, or the sort of insult on top of injury, is that like I don't actually care if this was like servercon.send message.
Right. I'd much rather
Command
be
fire.
doing that.
It
Yeah.
doesn't. It like this doesn't add that much, right? Like doing it this way. I'd rather know when like.
Is there a way? Well, I was like, is there any? Can you take off annotations? Maybe it's because it's easy to annotate. I don't know. Yeah, I feel you.
You're right. I think I know what you're getting at. There may be a way to do this, but I don't know. Like for example, like this can happen on any function. Like you can have this like arbitrary like bool, foo, int, blah, and custom type x. You could have as many like additional like arguments here as you want, and because it's like recompiling and in like a post-processing phase, you can it knows how to like iterate over this stuff, right? It can reflect over these methods and it can do that. But
it's pretty cool. I'm impressed, to be honest.
Yeah, it is cool. Actually, I think probably what you would do is you do something like if you wanted to do it like the way that I would prefer, you would just say like server like or net.send server message, and then you do like serialize some payload, right? And then here on the receiving end of this server message, you deserialize this payload into some like payload type.
Yeah, and call the rate function.
And it would be called like payload.
Or that, yeah.
Yeah. Which is fine. I've actually written libraries, not that didn't go quite this far, but I've basically written libraries that like try to like skirt around the language rules a little bit and just like let you call functions when there's actually a lot of machinery going on underneath. And that's the reason why I mentioned Ruby on Rails is like Ruby on Rails does so much dynamic dispatch, right? You have like what appears to be a function call, but it's actually like a switch statement somewhere,
I really like that this will throw errors if you try to call, like the server can't send the command fire message, which I think is really cool.
Yes,
according to this semantic, yeah.
But I'd actually rather it be statically analyzable, right? Like this, like the static analyzer doesn't know the difference between server and local, right? And so like you can probably fat finger this, right? And actually, if you watch some of the tutorials on YouTube, people do that. They'll call client RPC on a client, which doesn't make sense, right? Client RPC is what you call on the server to talk to clients, right?
Interesting. Okay.
If you look at ML API, which is like the official Unity sanctioned networking library that nobody appears to like, so I don't know like whether we should use it or not.
Probably
that's the official one. They have basically two attributes, one called server RPC and one called client RPC. And I'm like, oh, I wonder how they implement this. And I looked in and they had like the exact same Weaver library. So like this is all kind of like incestuously like shared. Anyways, that's just a pure technical detail. Like I don't think it ultimately matters that much. It's just I'm choosing this. I was very curious on how they actually ended up like doing this magically. And then like when I figured out this, when I learned what the solution was, I was like, oh, that's probably how you would literally have to do it, right? Like it's actually, what I'm saying is it's not actual magic. What they are doing is they're basically inventing a sub language of C#, and they've invented a compiler that knows how to speak that sub language, right?
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, this is dangerously powerful.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay. Well, anyways, we've got this now available to us. And maybe I can send a tutorial video your way and you can take a look at it and sort of digest that.
I think you sent me one good one. Yeah, please. If you got a different one you like, absolutely.
There's an introductory one that I can send to you. The one that I sent to you was like a guy making like a full shooter game over
Yeah.
the course of 2 hours, and it was very much the style of this stream. Actually, he was a bit more prepared because he had like I think rehearsed and taken notes over the rehearsal of
Oh,
like
where's
the
the fun in
stages
that?
that he would. Yeah, where is the fun in that? But it also has the sense of like throwing shit at a wall until it sticks. So it's maybe not as good as an educational if you're just trying to like understand the API and understand the semantics from the get-go. I think the only way we're going to learn this is to just actually build something with it.
Absolutely.
Because I think the fundamental concepts you kind of get, right? Server authority, client authority.
Yeah,
There's
and
certain things that send messages to the server. There's certain things that send messages to the clients.
absolutely. And adding this onto what we got looks really straightforward. So I think we should do it now rather than later because we saw what happens when we do it later.
Yeah, and then we'll just have to deal with the consequences of the fact that this is not deterministic simulation
Yep.
and there's no rollback. Like, what happens if a player drives into a wall that another player just built?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet.
Cool.
Alrighty. Well, it's bedtime for me.
Okay. All right.
A weird,
then,
weird times in life.
we will see you all on Monday, and then I'm just going to take a look at I have a vacation coming up.
Oh, cool.
So just to look at scheduling.
I do as well. I'm gonna be off work the 2nd through the 6th next week.
2nd to the 6th, and hilariously, I'm off the following week.
Oh, that is really funny.
Yeah. Cool. So it looks like we're looking at a 2-week break.
2-week gap. Okay.
In which we will come back different men.
True that. Okay. I'm gonna be in the Hamptons next week too. I'm not off work. Let me hit on Slack. Might need to do some scheduling thing, but we should still do 2 streams next week. Maybe at slightly different times.
Yeah, I also I'm like Monday to Monday, so if we wanted to like cinch things back to like the Sunday before, like we could still like do a stream.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Okay, great.
All right, sweet. All right, Dean. See you later.
Later, folks.
Bye.